Network concepts. In previous session, we learned about some network switching techniques as well as communication modes, simplex, half duplex and full duplex communication modes, and also we discussed about some network devices and its applications. What are all the network devices we are using for the connections of the purpose of a network, and also what are all the applications of all these devices we discussed in the previous class. So in this class we are going to discuss about some network, that is a mobile network usually, in that what are all the technologies we are using, and that is why the heading of this concept is wireless versus mobile computing. So until now we discussed about a network is built for our systems, means a computer systems or whatever the laptops we discussed until now, that is about for only systems or computers. But now in this class we are going to discuss about how the network will be implemented, how the network will be constructed for the mobiles, and what are the technologies we are using from its the history to application level we will discuss in this particular class, dear students. So before starting the mobile computing networking systems, first I want to discuss about some concepts related for the mobile. So almost all you have an idea about mobile networks nowadays. I think you are using a mobile to watch this video. You are using a mobile. Without a network, it's impossible to watch this video, right? So nowadays in a mobile, it is implemented, that is internet options, that in that is a fourth generation, or for coming days we are getting the fifth generation network, and all these levels, applications levels are possible. But when the mobile computing in its initial stages, how the mobile phones are working, and what are all its limitations, and what are all the land phones, what are its limitations, and how that mobile phones are accepting internet on that time, and what are all the major limitations of that particular network types, and what is SIM, what is a CDMA, what is GSM. All these things are very essential and basic concept for mobile technology. So dear students, you know, nowadays we are using a fourth generation network for your mobiles, that is for internet purpose. Every 10 years, reminder, every 10 years the generations of the network is changing. So in the 2010 or initial stage of the 2009 or 10, we are having a chance to use the fourth generation. Now it's the 2020 or 2020 or 21, definitely we will get the next version of the generation, that is the fifth generation. So in your mind you may get one question: why for every 10 years, or why that for every some years the generation wants to improve? For every 10 years the network goes on upgrading. Why we need upgrading? Upgrading means we need an extra speed, or we need errorless network communication, or we need some any extra features, newly added features we want, and high speed we want. Some applications are what's the compatible we want. So like that, if every 10 years the once generations is changed means automatically we will get the new options. For example, I will tell some options, dear students. You know, I think nowadays in WhatsApp we are having a video call option, right? And also we have an audio conference calls, video conference calls. Some messengers are we are using. So all these are applications. Without speed of the network, these applications won't work like this. That's why for every 10 years, once the generation is changed, automatically we are getting the new options in our mobile. and you have a chance to watch this video through the YouTube or some other channels, this is also one applications of the network. Without the fourth generation of the network, you are unable to watch this video this much freely. Otherwise, if you have the 2G network, you are able to watch this video. It's possible, but not like this. Limitations are there for each and every network types. That's why once the generation is changed, automatically the speed of the network as well as application speed and also its applications levels and limitations and also its advantages also more. That's why for every 10 years, once the generation is changed, we are getting these many options to our mobile. That's why almost all the operators, either Airtel or Idea or Vodafone, BSNL, what are all the operators we have for the network? Almost on Jio, Reliance. So almost all the network operators, they are providing high speed network for our communication purpose. So that's why nowadays we are getting for every day 1.5 GB or 2 GB per day free data like this. But some years back, if you have an idea about the network, we are using 1 month, that is as for 1 GB like that. We have so many limitations on that time, around the 2005 or 2006. In that time, we are getting only 1 GB. If I have 1 GB means that is more than enough. Because at a time we are having that kinds of the operations, and that's more than enough for us, because we are only browsing for that, and if we are able to download also, we are only documents like that we are able to possible to download, that is around 2 MB, 3 MB, maximum 5 MB like that. So that time the 1 GB per month is a more, but now for 2 GB per day is also very less for us. To watch this video continuously 40 minutes or 45 minutes, then almost you are lost around 7 to 800 MB you are consuming. So another remaining MBs also will be consumed by watching another video in this day, that will be lost. So that's why nowadays, of course, the speed is increasing and also applications levels also increasing. Even then also we are expecting again more speed. That's why in the last of the 2020 or in the 2021, we are expecting a fifth generation. In that we are again we will get some extra applications, extra speed. Let us see what the advantages we are getting after the fifth generations will come. So now we are coming for the wireless and wireless versus mobile computing technology. Before going to this mobile computing technology, first you have to know about, that is GSM. GSM, Global System for Mobile Communication. Remember, dear students, they may ask for abbreviation, 1 mark question. So that's why Global System for mobile communication. For mobile communication. So this is the abbreviation of a GSM, and also GSM is a technology. So in the time of the 1980s, remember, in the time of the 1980s, this technology is evolved. So in this technology, we are getting, see, global system for mobile communication means, in that time, in the 1980, some mobile phones evolution is started. That time, this technology we are using. Actually, one thing you should remember, students, GSM and CDMA are the two different technologies. Global system for mobile communication. Now I will give just one example to explain what is GSM and what is CDMA. The abbreviation for CDMA, that is Coded Division Multiple Access. Coded Division Multiple access. Coded division multiple access. So in this particular coded division multiple access CDMA and GSM technologies, we are having the two different types. So if I want to explain what is CDMA and what is GSM, I will come to one example, that is, nowadays you are having a mobile. In this mobile, these mobiles are capable of the inserting of the two SIMs, either any company or any operators. But some nowadays also we have, but some years back, if you have a knowledge about Reliance phone or some other BSNL phones, they are offers a Reliance phone with the SIM, inbuilt SIM they will provide. These kinds of the mobile will not support for any other SIMs. Means Jio phone, Jio SIM. That will be inbuilt SIM. That kind of the technology is what we call as CDMA, coded division multiple access, because it is a short type of the technology. It will have its own limitations. These kinds of the phone having the CDMA technology, this is spectrum technology they are using. For the CDMA, which is the technology we are using, spread spectrum. They may ask for the one more question. In a CDMA type of the technology, in a CDMA type of the mobile communication, which technology they are using? That is spread spectrum technology they are using, because it's having a own limitations. That's why these type of the phones, these type of the operators, network operators, prefer only one type of the network. That's why Reliance phone is coming up with the Reliance SIM. That is a CDMA technology, coded division multiple access. And it's having its limitations, and we don't have a chance to change the SIM of the different operators, and we don't have any to change the plans in that particular type of the phones. That's why it has its own limitations. But in the 1980s, when the GSM is evolved, these type of the technology, these type of the technologies of the mobiles will accept almost all universal operators, and these kinds of the phone is what we called as GSM phones. Nowadays, what we have our phones like Samsung or OnePlus or any other company phones, whatever we have, either Xiaomi, Redmi, Nokia, iPhone, whatever the companies of the phones we have, almost all the companies of the phones nowadays we are using this technology, that is GSM technology, Global System for Mobile Communication. So this is what we called as GSM technology. That's why these phones will accept any operator, either it may be an Airtel or a Jio or a Vodafone or an Idea, any BSNL, any type of the operator, this should be acceptable, because GSM is a universal technology for the mobile communication. That's why this word we are using, global system for mobile communication. It's universal acceptance, global system for mobile communication. Almost all these types of the SIMs will accept all operators. That's why GSM is a global system for mobile communication, universal acceptance. And it will be started in the 1980s in the European countries. They started in 1980s. This technology is evolved. From that time, for every 10 years that the technology is changing, from 1980s to up to 2020, for every 10 years, the network goes on changing. Let us discuss about how the network will be changing for every 10 years. Afterwards we will discuss about that. Before the generations of the network, now I want to discuss about one more very important topic for the mobile network communication system, that is SIM, dear students. SIM. They may ask what is SIM or define a SIM for 1 mark question. SIM means, if they are asking abbreviation, subscriber identity module. Remember students, I will write once again. Subscriber identity module. Subscriber identity module. SIM means it is a plastic like a small type of the material made up of the some aluminium coating. So this is what we called as it is a small chip like structure used to store the subscriber details, to store the subscriber numbers, to store the subscriber address and all these things. That's why this is a very, in your textbook they given one word. This is a tiny object. Tiny means it is a small object. Small plastic like structure used for to store the subscriber. Subscriber means that SIM will be owned by one customer. What the customer having to we will call as that is a subscriber. So to store his details, to store his numbers, to store his address, to store the details about the subscriber, we are using that kinds of the small plastic like structure. That's why if it is what is the definition for what is SIM? SIM is a small object, plastic like object used to store the subscriber details. That is enough for definition, dear students. But recently we are having in SIM also some types, some categories. Almost all nowadays in your phone or globally we are using micro SIMs, isn't it? Micro SIMs, because in the size of the SIM also nowadays it's very small. Dear students, in the SIM also when it's in the initial stages, when it is in initial stages, we are having one standard size. Standard size. From the standard size SIM to, we will get some micro sizes SIMs. After that micro sizes SIMs, now we have mini, micro, mini type of the SIMs. Yes, sir. Nowadays we are using again smaller than mini SIMs, sir. After these mini SIMs, now it is in the nano technology we are using, smaller than the mini. Like that, in types of the SIMs also changing nowadays. That's why you may get one question: why the sizes of the SIM is also decreasing? Dear students, whenever we are using any electronics, if you have a knowledge about TV, monitor, laptops, mobiles, radios and all these electronic devices, just observe for every year the slimness of that particular electronic devices goes on decreasing. In first year you learned types of the monitor. Previously we have CRT type of the monitors, cathode ray tube, CRT type of the monitors, CRT type of the TVs we have. Usually the width of the TV is around 2 feet like that, the width is there. After that some TFT, thin filament transistor. So off of that particular CRT, that much type of the monitors are changed. After TFT, LCD, liquid crystal display. Then after the LCD, one more the last type, that is what we called as LCD, LED, light emitting diode. So these kinds of the types of the categories of the monitors are changed. Why? Because to changes its width, to changes its clarity, to changes its appearance. Because when the TV is slim, that is very handy or very easy to handle. Like that in laptop also, like that in our computers also, like that in your mobiles also. If you have a knowledge about the first types of the mobiles, evolutions of the mobiles in the 1980s or 1985s or 90s, up to 90s, the mobile's sizes, it should be its maximum, it looks like a land phone, but it has some antenna like structure. That is also a mobile. If you are watching 1980s or 1990s films, in that films you are able to watch the mobiles. That is like looks like a big landline phones with an antenna. So that is also in a mobile. How that physically appears. But in later around the 2000 to 2005, that same mobile technology will coming for just in our size of our hand. Nokia 1100, 2200. If you have a knowledge, if you have a remembering of the sizes of the mobile, it should be in a half of the feet that mobile size is coming. Then later, around 2010, smartphones are introduced. In that smartphones, the width of the phone is not in a half of an inch. So, and a flat, slim, edge, curves. So all nowadays we are having curve edges mobiles, slim mobiles. Why we are using all these kinds of the technologies? Because for each and every upgradations of the electronics, they changes its appearances. Whenever they want to change the appearances, all these kinds of the modulations are required. If it is a standard size of the SIM, is it applicable to our mobile nowadays? No, because the SIM slot is very lesser than the previous mobiles. That's why for each and every year they are changes its appearance. They are making a better appearance. That's why the sizes of the particles, sizes of the mobiles, slim and handy. And this is what technologies are going on. So this is about SIM. Nowadays we have so many types of the SIMs also. So in that SIM, GSM and CDMA is a type of the category. So GSM usually we have to tell about this will be work for around 900 megahertz to 1800 megahertz frequencies. Okay, hertz will be the unit of the frequency. So this GSM technology will works for 900 to 1800 frequencies. That is the unit megahertz, 900 megahertz to 1800 megahertz. So based on its frequency, we have some speed limitations and also network limitations, dear students. So this is about GSM, SIM and CDMA. Then if I coming to the one more technology, that is WLL and GPRS. So WLL, wireless local loop. Wireless local loop, it is a single type of the technology used for the user's subscriber through online. Wireless local loop, dear students. So in the WLL, we have a chance to subscribe for actually home or offices individually. Wireless local loop is a type of the service. It is used for the subscription for the home or offices. And we have so many advantages in WLL, dear student. So by using the WLL, it will be support for weather damage. It will not affect any weather damage or weather accidents or atmospherical changes or any vandalisms. These kinds of the destructions will be not happened by WLL. So this is in one technology in the mobile. WLL is a kind of the wireless local loop. This technology offers a better bandwidth. The one more second advantage is it will offer the better bandwidth. Whenever the bandwidth is more, dear students, automatically the speed of the network is increases. In previous class we discussed about the bandwidth. That's why it will provide the better bandwidth. Whenever the better bandwidth is there, the speed of the network will be increases. Whenever the speed of the network will be increases, automatically the error rates are less. Whenever the error rates are less, it will be user friendly, and also it will support major customer service. Major customer services also very preferably, and also without losing any data, it will be transfers. That's why these are all the advantages we are having by using the WLL wireless local loop, dear students. Whether it will be not damaged by the weather and vandalisms, weather accidents, and also it will provide the better bandwidth, and also it will be providing superior customer service. That's why the WLL will be the preferable mobile networking technology. After that, we are going to one more traditional network technology for the mobile. That is what we call as GPRS technology. If I want to abbreviate the GPRS, General Packet for Radio Service. General Packet for Radio Service is what we call as abbreviation of the GPRS. These students, nowadays what we are using a fourth generation, fifth generation, or 3G, 2G, or G before that generation. So all these kinds of the network, this will be the basic. From the GPRS only, the evolutions of the networks are started. So initial days of the mobile phone, they are offering internet. From the technology, that is GPRS technology, General Packet for Radio Service. Through the radio signals, wireless technology receives the data, but it is in very smaller range. The maximum speed of that time, the network will offer 56 kbps to 114 kbps. 56 kbps to 114 kbps, kilobytes per second. This much of the speed has its own limitations. That's why on that time also we are having a chance to browse the internet, as well as we have a chance to download a small documents. We have a chance to send the emails, and we have to chance for surfing, and it has some own limitations. We are not able to watch the videos without any streams, without any buffering, and also we are not able to download the big documents like movies or 500 MB data, 600 MB data. We are not able to download that much of documents because it has its own limitation. It will provide only 56 to 100 kbps, dear students. How much slow data in that time? That's why I told previously, for 1 month, we are not at all consuming the 1 GB data for 1 month because it's having own limitations. How we will consume the 1 GB data for the month means just we are watching that some internet, or we are watching some any social media, or we are downloading any documents like 1 MB, 2 MB maximum, and we are checking the emails, and we are able to forward the emails, send the emails. That much basic options are possible. Not network related major downloads, conference calls, watching movies and watching any entertainment. It will not happen on that time because it has its own limitation. 56 kbps to 114 kbps means we are this much only it's possible to use the internet, dear students. But nowadays, just compare. Now we are having in fourth generation almost all 1 Mbps to 4 or 7 Mbps, up to 7 Mbps data, that is we are consuming. The speed is there. we are able to watch the film and we are able to download the movies in a fractions of seconds. A maximum 5 to 10 minutes we are able to download one movie, around 700 to 800 MB movie, and we are having a chance to watch the TV through the mobile. That's why so many advantages. When the speed and when the bandwidth is increases, automatically applications also more. So this is about GPRS, and one thing you should remember, on that time when the GPRS technology sends and receives the data, automatically it will be charges for technology. For the sending and receiving the data, it will be having some charges. For 10 kbps, this much paisa. For 100 kbps, this much rupees. Like that, they have some amount on that time to transfer the data or to receive the data. So this is what limitations of the GPRS. One thing, dear students, you should remember, GPRS is a basic technology for the internet in mobile. After the GPRS only, we are getting 2G second generation networks, 3G, okay, and fourth generation. Nowadays what we are using, and in coming year 5G. So all these generations will evolve. So this will be the basic concept for all these generations, dear students. So in the next topic, we are going to discuss about generations of the network from 1G to 5G. So if I coming to the generations of the network, mobile generations of the networks, mobile networks. So we are having these many generations, 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G and a future 5G. So if I coming to the after GPRS technology, in the 1980s, the same technology for the general packet radio service, that technology will support for only the pure voice call, not any internet application. In the 1980s, for the mobile, we are having only voice call option, not at all any internet for the mobile. So in that particular generation, the pure voice call facility will be there for on that time the mobiles. So that will be offerable by usually the GSM or usually for the CDMA mobile phones, and later after the 1980s, in the 1990s, the 2G or 2.5G, that type of the generation is evolved after the 10 years of that first generation. The 2G, this will be prefers the two types of the technology what we discussed earlier, GSM and CDMA, global system for mobile communication and coded division multiple access. These two types of the technologies are evolved. Through these technologies, we are getting the internet for our mobile with the limitations of the speed from 56 kbps to 114 kbps speed, dear students. So usually in the 1990s, the CDMA 2000 1X is the technology we are using for the mobile phones are getting the internet. Remember once again, CDMA 2000 1X is a type of the SIM, type of the network technology we are using in the 1990s for the second generation or second 2.5 generations of the network. Usually in that 2.5 or 2 second generation, CSD is a type of the technology along with the GSM and CDMA, that is circuit switched for data communication. This is also a technology using in second generation, dear students. They may ask one abbreviation for one more question. Expand CSD, circuit switched for data or circuit switched data is what we call as CSD. It is also a one type of the technology used in second generations of the network. Then after coming to the after second 2G, we are coming to the one more very important generations of the network, and from this generations only revolutionary apps are coming, and so many changes of the applications also happen. That is what we call as 3G or third generation. So usually in the around year 2000, this type of the technology is introduced. So usually for the true 3G, if you want minimum data, if you want to send means minimum from 384 kbps, 384 kilobytes per second to 2 mbps, 2 megabytes per second. This much of the speed from the true 3G network will offers usually, because this is a variations, because in a network not at all, almost all the networks will give the exact 2 mbps. For some areas some network speed will be decreases based on its area, based on its environment. So from 384 kilobytes per second to 2 mbps, 2 megabytes per second is the maximum capacity of the 3G network, dear students. So, in this particular 3G network, Universal Network will accept international mobile technology, will offers one technology, that is what we call as EDGE, Enhanced Data for Global Evolution. Enhanced Data for Global Evolution is a type of the technology. If you are having any 3G phones, you just watch on the top of the edge, top of the corner, you are getting beside to that network operator, E is in a symbol like this, E. You are getting this kind of like this one option in beside to your network signals. So that is what we call as EDGE, Enhanced Data for Global Evolution. This is able to watch in your 3G phones, not in 4G, because 4G is changed with, that is hybridization of the network, that is H or H plus. Okay, like that changes in the signals in the 4th generation. Before going to the 4th generation, again in the 3G, so minimum 384 kbps to 2 mbps speed of the network will be possible from the 3G network. And also very important concept for the 3G, at the time of the 3G only, digital voice application is introduced, and so many messengers like WhatsApp, Facebook messengers, all these kinds of the messengers are introduced in that particular technology 3G. And also some voice calls, digital voice calls, voice messages. So all these kinds of the application, what are all nowadays we are using, so all these applications are introduced in the technology, that is 3G. So after 3G, in the 2010, we are getting one more technology, that is 4G or 4G network. So usually it will having the major three applications. It will be overcoming of 3G. What the problems we will face in the 3rd generation, to overcome all these problems, 4th generations are introducing some other extra features. What are the features? See one by one. The 4th generation network supports for mobile applications. Until now, for the 3G, of course it will be support, but not that much support like a 4G. The 3G will not do that much of the support. That's why, to overcome that problem, 4th generation network will support for mobile application. That's why nowadays what all we are using in Play Stores, what all we are downloading the applications from the Play Stores or any Mac stores, like that, if that mobile is supporting for one application means network will also very important, and the version of the network is also very important. That's why 4th generation network will support for like mobile applications. And also because of this only, we are having a chance of the communication through apps. We are getting voice conference calls, video conference calls, and also remote access, and also so many applications like online games, and also communications through messengers, communications through video messengers. So many applications like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, WhatsApp, so many applications we are having nowadays. For all these applications, network is an essential service Because of this only, almost all the applications will be work. That's why, because it will be having more bandwidth and more speed. That's why fourth generations will support for mobile applications and also quality service, where we will identify the quality service in the network. You just observe in your mobile, if you are watching any video like in YouTube, just you get one 3G phone and also 4G phone. Open that both phones at a time for the YouTube, open the same video in both the phones and check which phone will be place the video without any buffering. Without any buffering. In 3G phones also, the video will be displayed. Same video will be displayed in the fourth generation mobile also, but without any buffering, without any disturbances, without any stop. The video is playing means that is in the fourth generations of the mobile, because it has more bandwidth, it will support for more speed, it will support for quality service. That's why it will be supports for quality service. This is a one example, YouTube. Like that when you are playing in the games, like that when you are watching in the TVs, when you like that you are accessing an internet for downloading, uploading, you will get the difference by using 3G and 4G phones. And it will support for network detection and selection. We have a chance for select the network type. So, I will give just one example how to select the network and how to detect the network. So, in your phone, network settings is there, one option is there. You have a chance to change the network settings manually or automatically. So, why this option is giving means, see dear students, whenever you are in the city, means whenever you are in the urban areas, city or metro cities or urban areas, district level centers, at that time you are getting fourth generation with high speed network with the maximum speed. But if the same technology, if you are going to some any remote villages, remote places like inside the forest, inside the any caves or any forest areas, fort areas, or any some distance from the network, on that time you may chance to lose the network, fourth generation network. That time you have a chance to change the settings of the network from 4G to 2G or 3G. That time you are getting a network very clearly for voice calls and all basic operations. This is a manual option providing by fourth generations of the network. Don't set the network is compulsory for the 4G in all the time. You have to change for the some when the changes of the regions. Whenever you are going for the remote places, on that time you have a chance to change the network settings. On that time you are getting the free as well as without any loss of the network, you are able to access this mobile. So that option also will be provided by fourth generations of the network. And also the fourth generation network will offer minimum 2 Mbps speed to maximum of 4 or 5 Mbps speed data will be sent from the fourth generations of the network. So this is the what about the fourth generations of the network, dear students, and we are going to one more and final generations of the network, that is what we call as fifth generation. Until now, fifth generations of the network. Let us discuss about 5G. So if I coming to the fifth generations of the network, so we are having these many features, these many concepts we are having in fifth generations. In the year 2020 or later 20, in the end of the 20 December or 21, usually we will get the fifth generations of the network. So we are having some key concepts about the fifth generations of the network, dear students. The major advantage of the fifth generation is again its bandwidth. Whenever the bandwidth is increasing, the speed of the network is also increasing. So some key points about fifth generations of the network. See, real wireless world. Fifth generation network we are treating like real wireless world. In this particular, whenever the fifth generations will come, we will feel like in a real wireless world like that. Then it will support for wearable and artificial intelligence features. Nowadays, already we are using the artificial intelligence AI in so many applications. Like that, it will be again improving in the fifth generations also, and we are able to use some wearables in the like wearable watches, wearable specs, wearable devices like earphone. So all these kinds of the electronic devices also will support the fifth generation network. So that is what we called as wearable artificial intelligence features. So that is also one major concept about the fifth generation. So if you have a knowledge about Google, they are already they are already testing a one spect like structure, that is like a spect like structure. If they are enable the network option in that one, that glass will convert it like into display. So that time through that display only they are usually watch what they want. So through the spectre, through that particular spectre, that option is coming. And nowadays we are having in Google cameras or in your cameras Google Lens application. If you want to search anything, if you want to scan anything, automatically that feature is coming to the particular what you want on that time. So that is what we call as wearable artificial intelligence feature. And also that fifth generation will support for internet protocol. Usually the version is 6, IP6 version. So this is for address of the network. Through that address of the network, very easy to recognize the particular network area, and also this is for security purpose, IP ratings. This is for security rating the fifth generation is offering. And also in fifth generation, one unified global standard this technology is using. Because of this technology only, anywhere you go into on the world, the same features, the same technologies you are going to use. So that is what we call as one unified global standard technology in the fifth generation. And also in fifth generation supports for smart radio technology for share the same spectrum efficiently. So in this particular fifth generation, as we compared like this in GSM, how we are using a spectrum technology for CDMA, like that in the fifth generation network also we are using, that is a smart radio technology for the spread spectrum technology we want to share for the same spectrum technology if I want to share. So this is the technology we are using in the fifth generation. That's why in the concept of the fifth generation, this efficient spread spectrum technology we are using. And also high altitude stratospheric platform station. So it is a kind of the option station place that will be preferable by fifth generation, and we have for abbreviation also HAPS. Remember, dear students. So whenever we are using the technology, we are coming to know what is that HAPS and all these things, and we are coming to that some key concepts about some features about fifth generation. What are its speed, what are its characteristics, and what kinds of applications will be prefer all these things. Let us discuss one by one. Fifth generation, it will be high resolution and bidirectional. Very importantly, you should remember, it is in high resolution and it is bidirectional. Both the side it will be transferable technology. That's why optical fibers we are using cable for the fifth generation devices, and also it is a bidirectional and also high resolution. Whenever that resolution is more, the clarity and quality is increasing. Then bandwidth and shaping. Whenever we have a chance to change the bandwidth, that is what we call as shaping, bandwidth shaping. So that feature is also in fifth generations of the network. And also billing interfaces. In the coming days, we are having a chance to pay the bills through online. That interface means that kind of the communication is possible through the fifth generations of the network. And also subscriber supervision tools. Fifth generation network will give us for supervision of the subscriber tools, means for the repair purpose, for some other watching purpose. That tools are very useful. That kinds of the tools are offering by fifth generation of the network. And also fifth generations of the network will give the high quality service by zero errors, by zero error rates. So that is also one best feature for the fifth generation, high quality by zero errors. And also it will support for around, remember, 65,000 connection. For one fifth generation network will having a chance to connect around 65,000 connections are possible. And also the maximum speed of the fifth generation network, it's around 25 Mbps. They given in like a number, but whenever we are using, that time we are coming to know whether this network will be up to 25 Mbps or not. Let us see when the network will then it support for VPN, very important feature, dear students. VPN means virtual private network. This feature will usually used for the security purpose, and also what we are searching on the network, that private network, that is that will be not tracked by any other, and that will be not saved in any other browser. This is for virtual private network. Usually these features nowadays banking sectors they are using, because they need their own VPN, virtual private network. That kinds of the options are given by the fifth generation of the network. And also fifth generations will support for remote access. That's why what I told previously, this kinds of, whenever the bandwidth is increasing, that will be support for remote access. Remote access means from here only I have a chance to repair one computer from the far distance. So not only that, remote access means from the far, if I want to take a printout from the far distance, one printer is there in my home, that printer will support for network IP. From here only, from the college only, I have a chance to take the print through the mobile. If that mobile is syncing with that particular printer, yes, I have a chance to take the printout from here only. That is what remote access. That kinds of the facilities, that is one example. That kinds of the facilities are provided by fifth generation network. And also fifth generation network, dear students, it will give the peak speed. Almost all, how much maximum capacity we have, that much capacity, that around that peak speed, that will be support for download and uploading options from the fifth generations of the network. So this is about generations of the network. And also especially for fifth generation, because we don't know how the fifth generation is there. Let us in some coming days we are able to use this fifth generation. Later we will get some idea about the fifth generation. So this is about generations of the network, dear students.